I leave. Oh, she's grabbing her snack. Get it! Get it! Shadow, stop being mean. Is it gonna fall? Here. You can grab that. You got it, right? Look at, there's more snacks in there. I knew he'd be playing with this toy. I see you over there. And now that I walked away, Duchess is getting her treat. Oh, he's squeaking it. So cute. All right, next fox yard. Oh, look at you squeaking your toy. All right, moving on. The main fox yard. All right, we'll do this one. Foxes! Who wants treats? There's Luca. There's Valentine. Matthias screaming. Matthias! You're fine. He screams like a girl. He's just over there wailing. Why are you so upset, Matthias? Are you waiting? Okay, you get first pick. There you go. Val's coming. Jack! Jack, treat! He must be snoozing somewhere. Where's your pal? Huh? Hmm? Here, you want a toy? They're in the box. I don't have them. Val's just gonna eat all of them. Here comes Jack. Jack! You want to pick something from the box? Get it! Everybody wants the treats. Well, I know who loves toys. Pan does. Hi, Pan. So today's power washing day, which is why the cages are a little bit wet over here. Hi, Pan. What's that? Okay. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. You got your toy? Aw. Alright. Just try to get out of here with one hand. Oh, I'm stuck. Man, I'm stuck. Okay, now I'm not. Wow, I'm surprised there's still a tree in there. Somebody must have peed on it. Oh, he likes this toy. Oops, sorry, buddy. Hey, Scotch. Hi. Do you want to pick from the box? I know, everybody peed on it. Okay, I'll sit over here and I'll wait. I'll pause the camera until you're interested. It's like, I'll just take a treat. Alright, bud. Good job. Hey. And we have Shiloh. Hi, Shiloh. You want to pick from the box? Alright, check it out. Oh, he's so curious in the camera. He's like, why are you recording me? Hey, buddy. Hey, bud. Good boy, Shiloh. Okay. Next fox yard. Getting some power washing done over there from our wonderful volunteer, Anna. My fox ears are coming off. I couldn't find my orange ones, but that's okay. Some foxes aren't orange. So, okay, which one have I not used? Let's situate our boxes here. Okay, take these treats. There we go. Oh, this one in. Hi. Hi, Winter. Hi, Esme. Hi, Franny. Look what we got. A fox. The girls are always super excited. Run, Winter, run. Esme got a treat. Aw, she's showing Esme her toy. She's like, look what I got. She's so proud of it. You proud of your toy? At least somebody's excited about the toys right away. How many treats do you have in your mouth, Franny? Moomy. Hi.
Oh,
Moomy's a little bit shy,
nice.
so I'm gonna make sure she gets a treat. Here you go. Right there. Oh, you want to try to get yourself? Be brave. So Lumi is an Arctic fox. And she's starting to shed out her winter coat. That's why you see those little tufts coming out.
5, 4, 3, 2.
The red fox species is definitely more dominant than the Arctic foxes. But I really want to make sure she gets something. Hey, Lumi! Treats? Lumi! Lumi! Hi. You want it? You don't want it? Well, I tried. This girl is just loving her toy. Are you loving your toy? Oh, did I disturb you? Well, I guess if you guys want to keep the box, that's fine. I'll come get the box later. Extra treats. Stick a toy in that one. Leave those boxes there. Next box yard. Alright, now we're gonna go see Malachi and Mala and Skeeter and give them their toys. Hi guys! What's up? I got a bark box. Fox box! Just trying to hold the box and hold the camera and open the gate. Hi! Wait! Back up! Back up! What do I have? Come on! Come on! Look it! What's in there? Oh, Mal got the toy. What are you gonna get, Mala? What do you have? Do you have a toy? Oh, she's got a little treat. He got a treat too. We'll see if Skeeter wants anything, but Skeeter still isn't a big fan of me.
I got hit.
Look it.
No. Oh, come
Check it
on,
out.
move.
So once again, Skeeter's in here because she can't be out when Maul is out, because typically two female foxes don't get along. But there's always exceptions to the rules. Foxes are very interesting when trying to group them together, because naturally they're actually solitary animals. So when trying to organize groups of them to get along, there's a lot of things that that you have to pay attention to, like two dominant male foxes can't be kept together if they are over the age of 2. Typically, if they're under the age of 2, there's still a chance of introducing the foxes together. And then two female foxes over the age of 2. It's the same thing as the males. You can't have two dominant females. It just doesn't work out. The only reason Vixie and Dixie can be in the same yard is because Dixie is super submissive and Dixie is super dominant.
4, 3, 2, 1.
You got a snack? You gonna put it in that hole? And save it for later. No one's gonna find it here. Some dust and fur on it. It's gonna be safe. Is that all you want? You're so cute. So she's saving her snack for later. Hi.
Hey.
Whoa, you're close. All right, I'm gonna take this box. Because I know who will be excited for the toys. We'll just pop by real quick and say hi to Milo. He's not going to want to play with toys because he just had surgery, he was neutered, and he had his leg amputated.
What?
But if you're only a
No
YouTube
balls
subscriber
and
you're
one
watching
leg
this and
missing.
you want to know more of what's going on, definitely follow our Facebook.
Well, he
and
probably
Instagram,
still has
because that's
balls,
where we
but
give weekly
they don't work
updates on
anymore,
every
dude.
box. Hi, buddy.
They
How you
don't work
doing?
no more. Oh.
So he's just relaxing. He's on a lot of pain meds, so he's not gonna want to play or do anything.
Oh, I'm so
just wanted
high,
to say
dude.
Hi to him real quick. So this is kind of our recovery pen, because we can't have him doing a lot of activity, so it's pretty boring.
Oh God, no. We're so dead.
Who's my boy?
We're so fucking
Do you want a
dead.
bark box? Yeah, I know who's gonna be excited about toys. You're always excited about toys. Dakota. Dakota. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Did you pee in your dish? Gross. Gross, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? What do I have? What is that? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, it's a toy. Oh, it's a toy. Oh, it's so happy. So happy. Oh my goodness, did you get a new toy as a Scooby-Doo? I'm gonna grab both at once? How are you gonna do that? How are you gonna do that, huh? Oh, you're just so excited. You want me to chase you? Oops, that's zoom in, not zoom out. Oh, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. He loves when I chase him. get you. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Is that your Scooby-Doo? What is that? You get the other one? Get it. He's like, but I can't fit two. Oh, now you're gonna get the other one. What is that? What's that? Oh, let's get the bus. Good boy. Good boy. Is that your toy? Is that your toy? Are you so excited? Are you so excited? Oh, you got 2 toys. You got 2 toys. He's got both of them.
Why am I still watching this?
Let's go stash them somewhere. Oh, gotta come say hi to Mom now. Hi, buddy. I don't think there's anything else left in there. Oh, you can have that, though. Who's my boy? You go get the box, okay? He's so funny. Look how happy he is. Dakota! You make the foxes look disappointing. Alright, well that is all of the foxes and Dakota. Thank you guys for watching. The foxes and Coyote get the bark boxes. So let me know what else you guys want to see and have me do videos of, and I will try my best to do them. So have a great day!
4, 3, 2, 1.
Escape the void! You cannot escape the void!
corruption festered within him. Take a lesson from this, champions. Do not let N'Zoth wield your fears against you.
What the fuck? Give it to me. The Vita one is so good. Void is usually, for most classes, pretty bad. The Vita one is on a lot of classes. Well, okay, it's probably the other way around on a few other classes, but yeah. Problem is with this one is just the shield usually just explodes instantly, well, in a lot of fights, so you don't have a lot of uptime on the crit. Even if crit is there, it's still just crit. Paired with 200 versatility. So I mean, crit as Chaos Bolt Warlock, it's still pure DPS, but most other classes it's just a higher percentage of maybe dealing more damage or maybe healing more. Sometimes it just does absolutely nothing.
Blasted boneheads thought they could sneak right under our bearded noses. Get in there and stomp them flat.
GG.
Now knock that hot airship out of the sky. Phew! I can't tell if those mangy orcs smell worse, dead or alive.
To use the Chamber's weapons against N'Zoth, we need to get inside his husk. Leave this part to me. After all, dramatic entrances are my specialty.
Insolent whelpling! You desecrate that which you were bred to serve!
Angry up.
Warning. Recalculating.
That does not sound particularly encouraging, Mother.
You will break!
Seems fixated upon me, champions. Perhaps you can turn that to our advantage.
You're in trouble now.
same healer died twice. What the hell?
Hey Save a Fox fans, so today we are going to be delivering these.
Comfy to sit on.
Right, we're in. I think. Yeah, hello everyone, and welcome to a terrible stream for terrible people.
Don't forget
Wait.
to pause it.
I'm trying to get back up to it, but it's being an absolute dipshit, and I can't pause it because it hasn't started yet, technically. So, there we go. Right, shush. No one likes you, Certic. Go away. Anyway, yes, hello, and welcome to the first of an ongoing series of streams that are no longer on Sunday.
Not worth my time.
He's one-dimensional.
Yeah.
And on Twitter, he's always on Twitter, and there's a group of people that are always on him, and you know, he'll get cornered, and then he'll ignore everything and go back to its level.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm back on Twitter now. After he got me kicked off, I know he's now going to report my new account, saying that I shouldn't have a new one. So that probably won't be around for much longer. But if you want to go and follow me on Twitter, it's at FTFEofficial. The Rumpus is saying here, come in. We could bring in the Rumpus for a chat.
Well, you don't chat with the Rumpus. You listen to the Rumpus.
Yeah, exactly. No, try thinking. It's not an experiment. It's a picture. An experiment is when you do something, you absolute moron. I'm going to send a link to the Rumpus and we'll get the Rumpus in for a chat then. He can teach us something about refraction.
He has like a 7,000 page book he's working on.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
I wonder how he feels about having an entire method of stopping streams named after him. Rumpusing the stream.
That's good. Did you see the video I put out that had Multi-Tom Tom's lyrics with the dancing from the Flat Earth Global Convention?
Yeah, it was so cringy.
I asked Tau Ceti Alpha. He sent me one of the clips that he used, and I found a couple others.
Flat Earthers know how to make themselves look dumb, don't they?
Oh yeah.
I mean, they write the comedy for us. I couldn't write stuff as good as what they tell us.
Yeah.
They provide us.
So Rumpus has a link. Again, try thinking. Send me an email at fighttheflyer@gmail.com, and then we'll send you a link to come in.
For what they provide us with.
Yeah, Chris and Dave's got it right there. Try thinking. A picture is not an experiment. So,
well, I mean, you could take a picture in an experiment. That wasn't it.
Yeah, no, he's literally just showing a picture. And if he comes in, he can show us the picture all he wants, but it's not an experiment unless you actually do it. See, I think that he might be a Poe because of the things he says are... You can't be stupid enough to think it's a valid argument.
I'm torn.
Yeah.
You know that it's a constant, like, is this person a Poe? Is this person just messing with me? Like every time I'm trying to set up a debate, it's just, I'm like asking myself, and halfway through the same thing, I'm like, can this guy be serious?
For the first time last night, I figured that Hip Hop Hippie might actually be a Poe when he started going on about going into stores and the store could be flat and stuff, and I'm like,
what?
I mean, I know you're stupid, Hip Hop Hippie, but that's some other level. Trying to claim the Earth is flat because going into a store and the floor is flat.
Yeah, with Sean Hufford, that debate was just something like and I think Sean was onto something. Every time you'd start to present something, he would interrupt because he didn't want that presentation to happen.
Yeah. Try thinking, no, it's not a test, it's a picture. What don't you get?
Well, I think he's trying to... He does want to do it in real life, though, I think. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Hello, Rumpus. How you doing?
Hello. Great to hear you. Hello, McLean. Great to hear you too.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, I think he does propose it as a real experiment, though. So he's drawn it, and also he's drawn it in a really peculiar way because what he doesn't understand, a lot of these flat earthers don't understand, is that if you want to test a theory, you have to say, right, here's my theory or my proposal. This is the model that I'm proposing, and then this is the test I'm going to do it, and this is the predictions the model makes, and then I'll test those predictions. So you pretend the world is a sphere. You don't say what the results of that would be, what results of your experiment would be, and then you say, I'm now going to pretend it's a flat Earth. What would be the results of that, and then compare the two in real life, which results you get. But you again get stopped by he's part of the Nathan crew where they say, no, you're not allowed to consider a theoretical model and then see what the results are. You've got to just go with what's real. But you don't. The way you start off is to say, I'm pretending it's this shape, then I see and that predicts these results, and then I consider another shape and see what the predictions that makes, and then you go out in the real world, and then you validate what
you verify
what the
one or
results
the other.
are. Exactly.
You either disprove your null hypothesis, or you confirm the hypothesis that you had in the first place. That's
exactly. So you're allowed to think what you like. You're allowed to think it's banana-shaped if you want. The fact that it's not is not the point. You think, what are the predictions a banana-shaped Earth would be? You then go out and test whether the predictions a banana-shaped would be, match your observations. But although Bev is possibly the most stupid flat earther, we're certainly competing for it along with Leaky Brain and Brian's Logic.
Yeah, oh my God.
But, he is pretty stupid, but... he is actually proposing an experiment. So he's drawing, which he hasn't drawn the spherical model. What he hasn't done, he said, if his drawing had, here's the flat Earth model, this is what we'd expect. And then he draws the spherical model with a curved water level, which he doesn't understand. I don't think he actually understands the level in the real world and in the spherical model. Water is curved and, as you say, follows a tangent because he doesn't understand. So, for instance, I drew a diagram which I showed the Earth, and I drew a tangent just as you said. And I said that is what a horizontal means on a spherical Earth, a tangent. And I drew one at 45 degrees on the edge of a sphere, on the edge of a circle, because he gets all upset about non-Euclidean, Euclidean. And of course, Euclidean just means basically it's two-dimensional. But anyway, so if you draw a slice through the Earth and you say here's a circle, and you draw a tangent, say at 2 o'clock on your I wish I could share my screen. I actually downloaded vMix to actually be able to share things. I don't know if I can now share things because I downloaded vMix.
No, well, if you join through vMix, then you can. But you just join through a normal link.
Yeah, I could then change it. But anyway, I downloaded vMix, so I could one day join your thing and actually show you share diagrams. But anyway, I haven't got. Yes, but I joined it through the browser. So I drew it.
Send me that. I can for you.
I could send you the thing. Yeah, that would help. And he doesn't understand this diagram. Yeah, let me show you this. And I even drew horizontal and level on this. Let me show you. It is, and he basically, as you say, doesn't understand what a tangent is. And so I then drew this tangent at 2 o'clock on a sphere. And I said, the hair's horizontal. He said, but hold on, that horizontal's at 45 degrees to the page. And he thinks he can't cope with the fact we're talking about, because it's on the screen going at 45 degrees. He doesn't understand that's level or horizontal in what he's proposing for a local. He doesn't understand horizontal is a local affair. So he disputes, for instance, that verticals in different locations are not parallel. And of course, we've got Jesse Kozlowski's experiments in the real world, and any surveying thing will tell you
bridge, or pretty much any suspension bridge, really.
Yeah. So all these verticals, all the plumb bobs, show you verticals which are not parallel, and he hasn't taken this on board. I mean,
no.
I don't know how many times you have to say this.
Yeah, when I debated him last, I was using the Venice Air Narrows Bridge as an example of the fact that you can have, plumb bobs that are, plumb, but they are not parallel to each other. And he just wouldn't accept even the concept of that being a thing. Oh,
yeah, he doesn't even understand the concept.
That means they're vertical, so no, you're just saying it wrong. No, you just can't deny reality by trying to define something with a dictionary. That's not how it works.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't... he claims to know all about Euclid being a Euclid flan, but he doesn't understand even the argument we're presenting. That's how bad it is, and I'm now emailing to you this diagram that he couldn't understand. But it is just extraordinary how stupid that these people are, even the ones who claim to... even these one who claim to under. I mean, what he's done a typical stupid flat earth thing, and also creationists do the same thing. For instance, the creationists I know used to just learn, for instance, the names of the bases in DNA, and they think if they recite them, that they'd somehow understood what DNA was doing. And similarly with Bev, he can recite or knows a few of the Euclid propositions in book one, and because he can do that, and he can even do it verbatim, I think, possibly. He then thinks, oh, I understand, because I can recite. But he's like a parrot. He's no better. A gibbon, well, a parrot who can speak, could do the same thing that Bev does and just recite some words. But you have to apply them and understand them, and they can't.
Yes, try thinking. My account that is against the Twitter terms and conditions has just sent you a link to join. So, level.
So I've sent you the diagram.
As he's saying in the chat there, his quote: "Level is straight line on a horizontal plane." That's a lovely, hypothesis. Can you please try and demonstrate that in an experiment?
No, level is perpendicular to the vertical, and the vertical on a spherical Earth is a radial. The vertical is a radial from the centre of the Earth to the circumference. That's a radial, and level is perpendicular to that at the surface. That's what he doesn't understand. And I've sent you the diagram.
So, I'm just getting that.
For full understanding, on a horizontal plane, if the Earth were flat, then level would be a straight line. He's right at that point. And if the Earth is a sphere, then level is a curved line. So the question then is, all right, we've done the geometry and we have two hypotheses. Let's test them. Does reality show us that level is a straight line, horizontal plane, or is it curved?
Crap.
And real world tests say it's curved.
Did it too early.
Yeah, and the verticals. So there you can see. Is it my imagination, or is that low res? Did I send you a low res version?
No, it's because the signal I'm returning to you guys is a bit low res, so I can stream it better.
Oh, that's better. Right, it's got better now. Okay. So so you can see I was pointing at the one on the about 2 o'clock. Then I've even included the radials, and I had to include the word horizontal and level to help him out and show where down and up show the vertical. And he disputes. And then he pointed out when we were discussing the one at 2 o'clock on this thing, he was saying, "But hold on, that's this horizontal." But the horizontal, look at it on the page, it's a 45 degrees to the page. That's his level of argument. It's just impossible.
He thinks it should be like that, otherwise it's not horizontal, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Right. Oh, no, you can't show it like that. It's not right, but, that's how dumb he is.
Yeah, what he doesn't understand, this is the kid, he doesn't understand vertical and horizontal are local affairs dependent on where you are, and everybody has a different vertical and horizontal. So his outrage is that, hold on, are you saying that someone's horizontal is someone else's vertical? Yes!
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, we are saying that! Oh!
No, he brought that up in a debate against me as well. He was people were quoting that to him on Twitter. And he was like, "Oh, do you believe this nonsense?" Like it was a gotcha. And I'm like, "Well, yeah, that's reality." So now, Bev, try thinking. I've followed you on Twitter, Professor Bevel at Try Thinking. I have sent you a link to this hangout, so feel free to join and share your stupidity with the world. We all like it. He's just in the chat at the moment, quoting things like, "Level is a straight line on the horizontal plane. Do you have proof of this curve you imagine?" Yes, we have measurements of it, don't we, MC2?
Jesse Kozlowski. And instead of addressing the evidence, he goes, "That hammer looks bent." Seriously, that was his refutation of Jesse Kozlowski. That hammer looks bent. So there.
Yeah. You coming in and try thinking or what? You were acting all brave, but now there's 3 of us Globers here ready to talk to you. You don't seem to want to come in.
I'll if he shows up, I'll, one-on-one I think is always more interesting because they get smashed better. So
I'll certainly let him have a good discussion with the Rumpus.
Ooh.
Well, I did have a discussion with him on Anthony's channel about a week ago, and the trouble is, because they're so stupid, you have to try and work out where the problems start, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time. So, for instance, although I drew that I've shown you that diagram, I didn't use the word horizontal along with level, and so he'll say something like level is a straight line. Yes, it is, and I've drawn them as straight lines. So it's only when you get it does take. It took me for instance, we spent 3/4 of an hour discussing whether or not a curve, 2 circles, can intersect. Where they intersect is at a right angle. I know this is incredible, but it took us 3/4 of an hour to get to the point of. I think he accepted it in the end that circles can cross at a right angle because he didn't understand tangents. The tangents of the circle cross at right angles or are perpendicular to one another, because so we had to get into that. I didn't realise he didn't understand what tangents were, which is exactly the point you made early on. So it's only when you understand they don't understand what a tangent is, and therefore when the tangents have to cross at 90 degrees, they begin to understand if you explain to them what a tangent is. But getting there sometimes takes a bit of time. But I think I've done quite a lot of the work previously to get to the point where he's got the problem. I've drawn that diagram where I've put in the word horizontal and level, and it's at 45 degrees, and then you can really tackle the real issue they have, which is basically they're missing about 5 years of middle school education. This is the problem. Us three, people like us, are having to fill in the years of education that they've missed as teenagers.
Yeah.
We have to be charging them for this.
No, we should. We give them physics lessons for free. We should be charging them for the information we try to give to them. And the thing that amazes me is that they're almost proud that they're stupid. They're like, you went to college and learned something? Well, I'm a flat earther and I know the Earth's flat, therefore I'm smart. And it's like... Yeah,
I just work it on my own... I have my own personal experience.
Yeah.
The trouble is, the only personal experience they've usually got is what's underneath the bottom of their bed. And if whatever it is they're talking about does not appear under the bottom of their bed and they can feel it and hold it and see it, then they don't believe it exists. I'm amazed they believe in Australia. Because that's as far as it goes. The bottom of their bed is basically the only thing where some phenomenon has to appear for them to believe in it.
Right, yeah, he says he's going to come in. He's just making his missus a brew. A bit late for caffeine, but...
Is that the real Nathan Thompson there?
Nathan Thompson, Holy Smokes, every comment I've read is just tilted testicle globe heads trolling themselves. I imagine so with a comment like that, yes. Hey, Nathan, I've been seeing your recent pictures you've been posting on Instagram, where you're like showing your veins and stuff and saying that you look buff. I'm being serious here, dude. A normal human doesn't look like that. I think you need to see a doctor. Seriously. People's veins shouldn't be popping out of their body like that. It's not good.
Yeah, but he doesn't know whether to go to a brain doctor or a physical doctor, does he?
No, he already went to a brain doctor when he had his lobotomy.
Yeah, but he needs to go again because it didn't work, or worked too well or something. He needs a new one. Do they take something out? They didn't put anything in his place. I mean, it's just... He needs to make another visit anyway, whatever.
If Nathan's there, I suppose we should get the Nathan memes on, right? Because they trigger him so much. Did you guys see that on Modern Day Debates when I could literally control when he was in and not? If I was playing these memes, he got so angry that he wouldn't talk anymore. He turned off his camera. And to answer a question, I had to get rid of the memes, so I could control when he was on and off. It was brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I don't like to use sort of picking on people's physical things. I like to pick on their arguments, but I do call them really stupid. If they are being stupid, because they're being willfully stupid. That's something they can control.
I don't know if I've heard you say that before.
But Nathan,
you missed out there, McToon.
Nathan is something different. Nathan shouts at children in school, so Nathan deserves all the memes that he gets.
Yeah, you're right. He's a bit special, isn't he, to do things like
special
that?
Special is certainly the right word. I mean, he's so special that he stole a bit from someone that's already dumb and made it dumber. That was amazing. Oh, I'm going to steal Kent Hovind's SpongeBob bit. Kent Hovind thinks you're an idiot, and that's Kent Hovind.
Yeah, that's quite something, isn't it? That is quite an achievement.
Yeah.
But then again, actually, Kent Hovind made an intelligent comment. I think about a year ago, he was asked on his little thing he does on Hangouts, and he actually was asked about the flat Earth, and he said, hold on, we know that the Earth isn't flat because we get things like weather systems and the Coriolis effect on weather systems and cyclones, etc., which I thought was a remarkably intelligent, possibly the most intelligent thing I've heard him say. He actually, managed to use that as an argument against. I said that's ridiculous. So yeah, it's a bit much when Kent Hovind is more intelligent than you are. I think.
I know, definitely. Absolutely. I've got a few more super chats. I read those out. We're waiting for Try Thinking to come in. We've got Chris Gilroy for £1.99 says Triple H told us there is no curve. It can't be a globe. Well, I think he's got us, guys.
Oh, oops.
He said there's no curve.
Hang it up then, I guess.
Yeah, fuck.
Hang it up, yeah.
Sorry, guys, Earth's flat. Triple H proved it. Stephen Potts is a new member. Welcome. You can now, as Nathan Thompson is there, you can join in with those funky emojis of Nathan Thompson in jail. GPS for $1.99 says, learn the truth, #No Earth Society. Join us. Yeah, I'll get on board with that. RT96 for $2 says GPS lies, triple helix Mobius Earth research. And then Raging Bassist for £2 says, I'm a bassist and even I know the Earth isn't flat. Yeah, and bassists are the dumb ones in the bands, aren't they?
Yeah.
Aaron Armstrong for $2 Australian says, Rumpus, your name calling yesterday was pathetic. Oh, what's that about?
Yeah. Well, you see, I was faced. I was having a debate with Leaky Brain on Narantis, and I mean, I don't know if you've met Leaky Brain, or Brian Leaky is his actual name. He persistently interrupts while you'll get about 4 words into response, and then he'll interrupt you. And I find
Brian's
that
Logic, or is that someone else?
No, this is not Brian's Logic. This is Brian Leaky.
Right,
Leaky Brain, as he's known. Yeah, he's about as stupid as Brian's Logic, but he really is he systematically will interrupt you. And so I called him lots of, and also he claims things like guns don't work. He did accept the guns work in space, but he doesn't believe. He claims that gases do not have mass. So when I pointed out to him that we've got even YouTube videos like Cody's Lab can weigh air, he denied it. He said no, gases do not have mass. They do not have weight. They do not have weight. And
Is
so
this
when
the
someone
whole
says
no
that,
intermolecular bonds thing?
yeah, they didn't quite say that, but he was absolutely adamant, because we were talking about how rockets work.
Yeah.
He said that rockets can't use the mechanism that I described, which is basically the exhaust going out one end of the rocket is effectively like firing bullets out the back, and therefore, much like the recoil on a gun, the thing goes the other way. So ultimately, after about an hour of saying this and him interrupting me persistently, I kept on calling him a twat and an idiot, and because he's basically ill-mannered, and so I kept on saying, Aaron, indeed, Aaron, for some reason, thought that this was unreasonable. Given the fact that he was ill-mannered, rude, and was denying things that were so obviously wrong, like the massive gases. And Aaron, I don't know whether he doesn't like me, perhaps, or he doesn't like my style. I mean, but anyway, he doesn't like my style or me or whatever. So he was complaining about the fact that I was calling
What
this
these
guy.
people have to understand is that speaking to flat earthers is one of the most frustrating things that you can ever do.
Yeah.
And
when you speak to someone, yeah, it is. When you speak to someone for an hour who's saying air does not have any weight, when you've got even the most basic investigation in the periodic table, you've got these elements that have atomic weight, and you get some guy who's just saying no, it doesn't have weight, and you even give them an experiment. I must admit, what I should have done perhaps to really hammer home the point, saying, so do you think liquid oxygen has no mass? And when liquid oxygen turns into a gas, do you think the mass disappears? So that possibly would have been a fine line. I meant to think of.
My response to that always is, well, try lying underneath 5 sumo wrestlers and tell me they don't have any weight. They're not intermolecularly connected, but you're still feeling the combined mass of all those sumo wrestlers.
Yeah, he didn't actually use that. He didn't actually use that argument, but he was just basically kept on saying. I mean, for an hour or so, that gases do not have weight. And when you're faced with that, obviously Aaron perhaps hasn't, I don't think I've seen Aaron debating anybody. When you are facing that for an hour, and particularly someone who's really rude and ill-mannered and keeps on interrupting you persistently as a tactic, then I'm afraid your patience starts to go, and you start to call them, what I did was twats and stupid, and I kept on saying, you twat, you twat, you twat, and idiot, twat.
Talking about twats and stupid, it does appear that Bev has joined.
Right. So I'm afraid I completely dispute Aaron's point, and I don't know why he thinks the way he does. Anyway,
Bev, hello. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. I see you've brought Rumpus in. He likes your type of debate, doesn't he?
Well, you mean the ones where we're right? Yeah. So you still don't understand verticals, then, huh?
I don't understand verticals.
No, you don't know what they are. You don't know what vertical means, do you?
What is there to understand?
Well, you don't understand how you can have someone else's perpendicular being different to yours, do you? You don't understand that.
Do you know what a perpendicular is?
Yeah, I do. Do you?
Yeah. Of course I do. Not like definition number 10 in Euclidean geometry, right?
If I have 2 plumb bobs that are completely vertical, yet they are not parallel, are they still vertical?
No.
But even though the plumb bobs are exactly 90 degrees to the ground?
90 degrees to a horizontal?
Mm-hmm. A horizontal at your position. And even though both of them are exactly 90 degrees to the ground, they are not parallel. How is that possible?
Where are you talking about that? Where's that?
Well, let's talk about the Venice Air and Narrows bridges, because that's always a really good one. The fact that they have
Can you not see the screen? He can't see the screen, I don't think. Can he see the screen?
He should be able to. He should be able to see that.
Can you see that diagram, Bev?
Again?
Yeah, can you see it? You can see. Can you see where it has all those different horizontals and levels are at different angles to one another, but they're all local. Here I'm going to say it again: local,
ridiculous.
Local horizontals and local verticals. That's the globe model. That is the globe model, Bev.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
No, it's reality.
What? How's that reality?
Because we've got examples of it being reality, like the Venice Narrow Bridges.
Where? Come on.
The Venice Narrow Bridges in New York have 2 exactly plumb towers that at the tops are 1 5/8 inches further apart than the bottom, meaning that even though they are both exactly plumb, they are not parallel. So that matches the reality of what you're seeing there, an example that Rumpus created. Reality matches that.
So the perpendicular that's established by one of the towers, right, when extended, won't be perpendicular with the other vertical on the other tower.
Correct, you're getting it, Bev. That's absolutely
right. Well,
correct.
that means that vertical isn't perpendicular.
Oh, they are at each location. They are. They are their own perpendicular. They're their own vertical.
Notice how he doesn't understand the most basic element of this diagram. He keeps on saying that the vertical is not perpendicular to the horizontal. Yeah, in this diagram, if he looked at it and understood it, you can see that at each location that I've drawn it, each one of those verticals is perpendicular to the local horizontal. The local horizontal is perpendicular to the local. But he hasn't understood it. He's so stupid. He doesn't realise that it's the change in location that we're talking about different verticals. Hold on. Different verticals in different places are not parallel. But can you not see in the diagram that in each location, each vertical is perpendicular to each horizontal in each location, each local location? You are so stupid, you don't seem to understand the point that we're making.
What, that perpendicular isn't perpendicular?
You can have
how
different
stupid can this guy be? How stupid can this guy be? I've just explained to him that locally at each point that there's a perpendicular between the vertical and the horizontal, and then he just says something that means he didn't understand a word that I said, and he's going to carry on being impervious to logic and evidence and not accepting that we've even got real world evidence.
Yeah, just try and address the evidence, Bev, rather than going off of your own preconceived notions that all the horizontals have to be parallel. Just address the evidence that the Venice Narrow Bridge literally has two plumbs that are not parallel. Just address that evidence. What does that mean?
Who's saying that they are plums?
The people that made it. I can give you the actual construction
name
and everything.
Of the people. Go on. Give us the names of the people that are going to put their name
that up, but I can
to
actually
some plum thing not actually being plum.
Well, Jesse Kozlowski's video does the same thing. He shows that verticals are not parallel if you are not at the same place. So they're just local, as drawn in this diagram, and as you seem incapable of understanding. I mean, even if you don't agree with this, Bev, what I've drawn, you don't even seem to understand the argument that we're making. You're that stupid. You don't even understand the argument.
The method, can you, for measuring that verticals aren't parallel? Just run us through the method, quick.
Right, in Jesse's video, I don't know if do you want to take this, Craig, or shall I talk about Jesse's?
Send me the video and I'll get it up and you can talk about it when I'm getting the construction.
Okay, well, let me just go through the procedure. There's something, you claim to know something about surveying. Do you know something called zenith, what's it called? Inverted zenith.
Reciprocal zenith angle.
That's it. Thank you. Reciprocal zenith angle. Are you familiar with that term?
Explain what that is.
So, by the way, Bev has claimed to me he's got some sort of surveying certificate or something, and I mean, he's a moron, so I don't know whether he's got confused, but he must have the lowest certificate imaginable, and he doesn't understand this term, which is a basic surveying term. Thank you, McToon, for reminding zenith reciprocal measurement. That shows whether or not your verticals are parallel, and that is method. Hold on, let me finish. And that's the method that he uses with two. Let me finish. With two theodolites. Let me finish. I'm nearly finished. So when he uses that procedure with zenith reciprocal measurement to establish that two verticals at distance apart are not parallel. Go ahead.
Is that the method that you've just explained there?
Yes. But because you're a surveyor, you would know.
Explain what.
Because you're a surveyor, you would know this, of course.
Yeah. Go on.
So do you know what a zenith angle is?
Well, I know what the zenith is, and a zenith angle would be the angle produced from the zenith to a point,
Correct.
right?
Correct, exactly.
Okay.
And so if you use a theodolite to measure
Yep.
the relative angles of the zenith to another theodolite,
So what's the
you'll find they're
reciprocal
not-
bit?
Well, because you've got two of them. It's basically a term to describe two theodolites, both generating zenith angle, and then you point them at one another, and then you can measure the angles between their different horizontal, the idea of level at 2 points, and then you can demonstrate that the zeniths are not pointing are not parallel. But of course, you would know all this because apparently you've got some surveying certificates.
So let's go with the fact that you think.
And in answer to your question, Bev, the guy that designed it was Othmar Ammon, who was one of the highest qualified surveyors. Yeah, the designer of the construction engineer that designed the Venice Arenarez Bridge.
Okay. Brilliant. So, Rumpus, your verticals, they come down, right? And then you construct a perpendicular, right? A horizontal,
Yeah,
that's
look,
what you
can you
call
bring up my
it, isn't
Can you
it?
bring my diagram, please? Craig, just so we can discuss.
We're going off. That's what we're trying to do
relates to
here,
this
right?
diagram. Bev, it's very close to this diagram here. The zenith reciprocal measurement is very similar to what this
You
diagram
just
is
see a
doing.
load of pictures of Craig's fantasy or something.
Yeah, no, hopefully
that's switched over. You should look at the vMix, not the stream.
Is that your boyfriend? That you've
That's
got on
Nathan
there?
Thompson.
Yeah, can you see the? Yeah, look at the vMix. Yeah, look at
You
the
seem
screen.
a bit obsessed with him, Craig.
Oh,
right?
very much so. Yes, I love the pictures that everyone sends me of him.
Right, so Bev, so if you look at this diagram, look at the vMix feed, not the YouTube feed, and you can see
YouTube feed
that
now. It's on there, right?
The vMix feed.
Your ball,
the
your
vMix
circle.
Yeah, okay, now it's on there. Right, so now that you can see it on either, because you're incapable of looking at the right one, you can see what it effectively does is it takes two positions, just like I've drawn. So if you look at the 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock positions I've drawn in here, it then establishes the local zenith at one point and the local zenith at another, and then it works out the angle by between the two. So it measures the difference between the levels and therefore establishes.
when you
that
extend that
let me
horizontal-
finish my sentence. Yeah. And so therefore, by establishing the horizontals, because one theodolite does not look level at another, you can therefore establish the verticals are also not parallel. Go ahead.
It doesn't look level.
Oh my God! You see, he's such a moron, isn't he? I'm
just trying to work out. You need two theodolites for this method.
Yes, we do! I said so, you twat!
Wow, Jesus.
Jesus Christ, how many times I said 2 theodolites? I must have said that 5 times. Oh, Jesus Christ. Right, so you moron. 2 theodolites, so imagine one at the 1 o'clock and one at the 2 o'clock.
Right,
they
how
both take
far
a zenith
apart are we
angle.
having
They
these?
both get a horizontal. He did it, I think, about a kilometre apart, as I remember. I can't remember the exact. I'll get the video in a second. So he then took the level at each position, and then he summed the angles as you do in the reciprocal. So he didn't allow for a fraction, no, but we won't need to worry about that just at the moment.
Was there any
you can't
fraction
even
over that?
No, don't try and deflect. Don't try and deflect from the issue here. Don't deflect.
Let him finish his point, and then you can ask questions. All right?
Yeah, you don't. Let's deal with the non-refraction case for the moment because you don't understand the simple case. And so he establishes a local level, and then he establishes the angle between the levels using 2 theodolites, and you can then sum the angles to the zenith they have, because you end up with the angles he adds up together are from a straight line from the 2 points, and then summing those angles you can demonstrate that the verticals are not parallel. Go ahead. I'll get a diagram for reciprocal zenith. Come on.
You know what a reciprocal zenith angle is yet, then? Or
well, you're not familiar with the procedure, so.
No, I'm asking you.
Are you alright? Okay, let me go. Okay, I'll go and get a diagram.
Me, I don't know
I will
anything
go
about
and get.
it.
Yeah, okay, I'll go and get a diagram for you. I will go and get a diagram for you while you try and not deflect from the point that I'm making.
Well, no, I'm just trying to get this method down because, I mean, surely I'd be able to do this at the side of a canal with a level, right?
You need 2 theodolites to perform the reciprocal zenith
we'll get 2
measurement.
levels. We'll get 2 levels. In fact, we've got a load of water levels. We'll get a couple of levels as well. What?
Well, you need to be able to measure angles. Yeah, you need to be able to measure angles, Bev. which law towards level doesn't allow you to measure angles, does it?
Yeah, that's the
A
entire
level
point.
doesn't let you measure angles. No, you just measure
Well, you
distances,
need something
don't
to measure the angle between two
Wait,
things.
Bev,
Now,
hold-
just having a
are you
water
trying to
level-
measure
hold
a
on a second.
distance with a level?
Oh, hold on.
What?
He's talking about a water level. He's talking about a water level. He keeps talking about
MC
water level.
Toon, what's that, MC Toon?
Try thinking, Bev. Did you say that you use the theodolite to measure distances?
No.
They measure.
Wait,
they
when
measure
did,
angles.
what are you talking about?
Okay,
No, I think he said he uses a level to measure distances.
No,
Yeah. You said
You know
something
when,
about
you know when you
Maybe I
get
missed
a
it.
Just gave up
measuring
mid-sentence.
rod, you know how to use a level? How surveyors use
Yeah,
levels.
if you use a measuring rod, yeah, but you need to establish.
And what do you do with that? You measure, don't you? You look through it and you see a distance on that measuring rod, don't you? That it is above
Well,
the
it's a
datum
height.
that you're
A
measuring,
distance
right?
is, yeah, you don't call it distance. We call it. You mean a height, really, don't you? You mean the height of where you're. So, but you need a you need a theodolite where you've got a graticule, so you can see where that lines up. Unless you're going to.
Yeah, that's what levels do.
Yeah, but Bev, the thing you're trying to measure is the angle.
Why?
So that you know if there's a curve there.
Because that's what reciprocal zenith measurement is doing. It's measuring an angle.
Measure. Yeah, but like you guys say that a level is a horizontal plane,
don't.
right?
No.
Oh,
we
is it
say-
not? A level
No,
isn't horizontal.
we say level is the curvature of the Earth.
Right, so when I
A
get
level
theodolite,
is a tool that allows you to understand the local
so when you
vertical
look through a
um,
theodolite,
vector
is
of
that a
gravity.
curved line?
When you look through a theodolite, is that a curved line? No, when you look through a theodolite, you're trying to find the angle that it dips away from the horizon.
No, you're looking through a crosshair.
Yeah.
In a if it's set at horizontal, then it's a horizontal straight line, right?
Yeah, and like in Jesse's video, when he's got the
It's
two
not
theodolites...
curved, right?
When,
Is it?
when you've got the two theodolites either side of the lake, like in Jesse's videos, and they are both horizontal, the theodolites don't match up, showing that they must have a reciprocal zenith
That
angle
level
and
is
not be
horizontal,
parallel.
isn't it? That level is horizontal, right?
At each individual point, yes. But one's horizontal isn't another's horizontal.
See how he doesn't
Why?
understand this still.
Why,
He still
why do you
yeah.
say that?
Because that's how
Because
it
look
works.
at the diagram, you twat! Look at the diagram, you utter twat! Can you not see that we're talking about the tangents to a circle and they're not going to be parallel to one another? You utter moron! You stupid! You cannot be this stupid! You cannot be this stupid!
Are we using Euclidean geometry here?
Yes, we are, because it's two-dimensional, you twat. We're doing a slice through the Earth. So we're using Euclidean geometry. This is a slice through the Earth. It's 2D. It's Euclidean, you twat.
So the second postulate of Euclidean geometry states that any terminated straight line can be extended.
Yeah,
in
we
a
know
straight
that.
line.
Yeah, for Christ's sake. Yes, we know that, you moron. Yes.
Every one of those horizontal lines can be extended in a
Yes, of course
straight
they can.
line.
Yeah,
Of
and
course
Then
they
they
can.
would cross
Yes!
verticals that aren't
Parallel, yes, the thing we started off saying, they're not parallel, the verticals are 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 not parallel, as proved by Jesse Kozlowski and that bridge, as proved by Jesse Kozlowski, they are not parallel.
Is your fallacy within the geometry?
There's no fallacy, we're describing reality.
Yeah, there is, because your vertical and horizontal aren't perpendicular when
don't
you
have to be.
extend.
You stupid twat! At the local point, you utter moron, you keep on saying this, and look at the diagram where it says horizontal, level, down and up. They cross at the perpendicularly. They're at 90 degrees to one another.
You
at
need to
a
back
point
off that
on
mic a
on
little
the
bit,
circle.
Rumpus.
You utter
Your
moron.
mic is terrible, dude.
Yeah, I can't. You look. Okay, let's do it more quietly then. You utter moron. At a particular point, you keep on saying. You must have said this about 50 times, and we told you 57 times that at a particular point, the horizontal and the vertical cross at a perpendicular. And what you don't seem to understand is that they're in a different location. That you still have them crossing at a horizontal perpendicular, but they are at different angles.
Postulate number 2 states, Rumpus.
He's a moron. I mean, what do you do with this guy? You show him a diagram in which he can
Postulate
clearly
number
see
two.
that these things are at different angles, and then he keeps on saying, "But hold on, they're not parallel. They're going to crop. They're not perpendicular." Even though we're showing on the diagram that all those things are perpendicular at each individual point. I don't know what else. Someone else has got to have. I mean, this is so.
What he doesn't understand
Jesus
is
Christ.
that Euclidean geometry and Euclid's postulates do not. It doesn't mean that you can't have different horizontals. His postulates hold true for each individual point, but that doesn't mean that that point is the same as another point. Each point has its own horizontal.
Have you ever heard that anywhere stated?
No, I'm saying
Everywhere
it
in
doesn't
surveying.
state that it's not.
What?
All in surveying, it states that everywhere.
Yeah.
Do you know how surveyors work?
Yes.
Right.
I've been
You
studying it a
don't know
lot.
you don't know what a zenith reciprocal measurement is, you twat.
Do you know what?
Do you know what?
Wait, one second.
Differential leveling is.
If we're talking about surveying, there's a big thing that
differential
surveyors
leveling.
use.
Do you know what
a spherical
differential
excess
leveling is?
Stop deflecting from the point. You don't understand the diagram you're looking at, or you're pretending you don't. Because this is a 9-year-old could understand this, Bev. A 9-year-old could understand this diagram and the point we're making. Even if you don't agree with it, you don't even seem to understand the point that we're making. Because we define horizontal as being perpendicular to the vertical, which points to the centre of the Earth. So even if you don't accept that's what's happening, you don't even seem to understand the diagram that's in front of you. Now, either that's because you are lying and you are... I mean, you're either very, very stupid or you are a liar, and I can't quite work out which it is.
How many verticals can you put on a horizontal line?
Depends if that vertical is part of the arc of a circle.
What?
But we've got lots of different horizontals, Bev. See all those horizontals? You've got an infinite number of them. You know what a tangent... I don't think you know what a tangent is. You've got an infinite number of tangents on a circle, and therefore you've got an infinite number of horizontals.
A tangent isn't a horizontal, Rumpus.
Yes, it is on the Earth when the gravity is pulling it to the centre of the Earth, you moron.
That's exactly what it is on Earth.
Gravity pulls tangents.
Gravity creates what the tangent is. Because
gravity creates tangents. This is a good
for you,
one.
yes. Because fucking annoying. Hey guys, I should be back on. Sorry about that. Computer crashed. I need to get this sorted. I know. I'm sorry. I'm working on it.
3, 2, 1.
Let me get the guys back in. Rumpus, try thinking you should have new links. MC2, I'll just get you on.
4, 3,
I'm really sorry about that.
1.
Right, everyone's got new links. We'll get back on with the show. I really, 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 really need to get my computer sorted. I don't know if it can't cope with the stupid or something, but hey. MC Toon, you're back.
Hello.
Hello. Stupid computer. Right, I guess I'll catch up on the super chats whilst we're waiting for Bev and Rumpus to come back in. J.O. Warren for $4.99 says, Natalie, you've been listening to No Doubt again. Loss of appetite is a sign of depression. Yeah, I see Natalie being a little... just have fun with him in the chat, guys. Play Whack Control. Aaron Armstrong says, for $2 Australian, don't lower yourself to their level, but it's more fun that way. The Plot Hole for $2 says, some people's gases have more weight than others. That's true. Then we got the Reclusive Extrovert has upgraded his membership to the Destroyers. Thank you very much. The Macedonian for 100 Mortal Kombat dollars, maybe. How do Flurfs explain comets, asteroids, and meteors?
They don't.
Magic. Aaron Armstrong for $2 Australian says, see what I mean about Rumpus? Hey, it's fun. And trust us, Aaron, it's what happens when you talk to these people.
But this is the... Sorry,
go on.
So I just want to point that's a bit. I've had to put up with an hour of that beforehand, so
Yeah.
I've already got an hour's worth of pain from explaining the very same thing to him. And you can see what he does every time we say to him, look at a particular point, those points are perpendicular, and then he says, oh right, okay, and then you move on 30 seconds and say, but hold on, how can these things not be they're not perpendicular to one another, are they? And he does this every sort of 2 or 3 minutes for an hour, as he did to me before, and he's doing it again now. So that either he is really, really, really stupid, or this is a tactic or a deceive. I don't know what. I mean, I usually believe that people are just stupid, but even a 9-year-old could understand the point that we're making, that at each point on the edge of a circle, that they are perpendicular to one another, and as they go around the circle, they change angle, so each has a local vertical and horizontal. Now, when someone persistently doesn't understand this, when it is such a simple concept, you know, and you've had an hour of that before,
yeah,
then it drives you a bit mad. Perhaps McToon is reasonable. Perhaps the reasonable approach of McToon can perhaps get through to him and expose him more than my
All right, well, let's
approach.
see what MC Toon's got with him. For let me just finish his super chat. So, Bev, thank you for coming back. My computer crashed. Apologies. Then we got Joseph Fallot for 50 Nokia says his brain can't comprehend a 3D object. Michael Rothbeck for €5.49 for a new PC. Keep it up. Yeah, thank you. It's going to go towards repairs, definitely. Glass Monster for $2 Canadian says the stupid broke YouTube. Bad Uncle Bob for £1.99 says keep his feet to the fire, Rumpus. Chris Gilroy for £2.99 says it's not much, but it helped the new PC fund. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Corsi Husky for $5 says someone called Guinness. We have a world record for the lowest IQ ever. Try thinking is so dense he would have other flurps in orbit around him. Bev, do you want to respond to that?
What?
He says, called Guinness, we have a world record for the lowest IQ ever. You're so dense, other flurps should orbit around you.
Right, I've never told a solicitor to suck my dick.
Okay.
It's pretty dense, isn't it?
We're pleased about that.
Yeah.
Traveller X for $2 Australian says, why do flurfs always lie about qualifications? They have to. And then David Oliver for £2 says, keep up the good work, FTFE, thank you. And then $2 from Sparky NG for no new computer. Yeah, alright, I'll get a new computer.
I think a lot of people in the chat are also saying that I'm falling for Bev being being a poet, just pretending to be an idiot. Now, it could be that's the case. I tend to think people generally being honest and their stupidity is honest stupidity. But
No,
Bev,
you're
I must
always
admit,
like this, Rumpus.
is pushing, no, not only with someone like you who's so stupid that it's worse than a 9-year-old, and you are an adult, you can tie your shoelaces together, and in which case you should be able to understand that diagram. So I mean, you could be right, people. I could be being taken in here by this moron, but he's actually not quite as stupid as he appears to be. But I just try and take people on as they are. So I mean, perhaps I'm being a bit naive here, but yeah. See how much tune.
The frustration is
on.
Understandable. But MC Toon, would you like to have a go at explaining it to Bev?
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I just sent you one, Craig.
Okay.
From WS. And it perfectly describes it. So, in Euclidean geometry, if a line touches a circle, and a straight line from the center of that circle out to the edge of the circle, to that same point, they connect, right? Then they are perpendicular to each other.
Two straight lines, right?
Two straight lines are perpendicular to each other, and one of the lines is tangent to the circle. The other line is perpendicular to the circle where it meets.
Yeah.
All right. So the question then is what does reality tell us?
Already defined earlier, isn't it?
Sure. So the question isn't about really, talking about geometry, because we can, we're not really disagreeing on that. The question is
lines.
The question is, does measurements match a sphere or a plane? And we have measurements that match a sphere, and I've not ever seen measurements that match a plane.
Where are these measurements?
Well, I've shown them to you before. Jesse Kozlowski over that lake, 0.48 miles of the lake, and it drops 0.15 feet. Right?
The water level in the lake drops from
at
the
one
observer's point. Yeah, from
at
the
one point,
observer's point. Well, there is two, isn't there? There's two theodolites.
Reciprocal zenith angles. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So
and they match.
It drops.
They both get
it
the
drops
same measurement.
From one,
actually.
or like when you go to the other one, does the original one then drop?
They both drop. Yeah, from both sides. The other side drops.
Okay. So if you were to travel from one to the other, you drop, and then if you were to travel back again, you drop again.
No, you wouldn't change elevation. Your elevation's the same at the 2 points.
He's just said drop, Annie.
Yeah, but when you're at one point,
in the sense there's a drop, as in the sense of what is below the horizontal, local horizontal, as in the drop term used by surveyors.
Yes, a drop from the horizontal.
Hold on. But the elevation, there's no drop in elevation. So there are two words for the drop here that you're deliberately confusing.
So there has to be a rise in elevation in the horizontal.
No. Sorry, if you look at the diagram.
That's right. Yes, correct.
Yes.
Sorry, McToon. Yes, if you look at my diagram, you'll see that a local level, level that's extended, will raise in elevation. Yes, a local level, if you extend it out, will raise in elevation. Yes, and we've been through this with you before. If you go back to my diagram, Craig, those levels that I draw, those horizontal levels, you can see how they become further and further away from the centre of the Earth, and therefore, as you go out further along a level, the elevation increases. Yes. You could draw that, bring up the diagram, Craig. Yes, so if you look at the way it says horizontal and level, if you extend those lines, let me finish. If you extend that level line, if you extend it out, you are increasing the elevation, i.e. the distance to the centre of the Earth. Go back. MC2, sorry to interrupt you, go back.
All right.
Sorry to interrupt you. I couldn't stop myself there. Sorry.
I know it's difficult. Find your Zen. So, in this diagram here, Bev, you're seeing the diagram, correct? Point. We got to go back to my Proposition 18. Back to my diagram. So, point C. That would be
book 3 of the Euclid's elements, right?
Yep. So,
just in case anybody wants to follow along at home.
Yeah, it is on the screen there. So when Jesse was
MC2, can you see how he's disrupting your answers here? He loves to do that. He has to interrupt you periodically to prevent you from giving your point.
You did it to me too, Rumpus. I'm gonna cry.
I know. Sorry,
I'm kidding.
sorry, you little devil. I apologise.
So, all right. So when Jesse is at occupying a station on the Theodolite, he's at point C on this diagram here, right? And then he's reading out towards point B on the where the other Theodolite is. And he actually, when he looks straight, when he has his Theodolite leveled, he reads out to point G. Right. Then when he switches,
you think that's a horizontal from C to G. You think that's horizontal, do you?
Mm-hmm. It absolutely is. Yeah, as defined right here in this book, it is horizontal on a sphere.
No. It's right? Defined as a perpendicular to that radius. That's that line. That's what Proposition 18 says.
On the surface of a sphere, that line, or in 3 dimensions, that plane, is the plane that is perpendicular to Plum at that point.
No. Perpendicular to the radius of.
Radius is a scalar.
Well, it's radius and tangent.
Do you mean
them two lines there? They are perpendicular to each other.
The vector FC. The vector FC. It's perpendicular to the vector FC, right? So that plane is perpendicular. No, F.
ED.
The center of the circle.
Yeah, ED is perpendicular. So I can't quite see, is that FC or TC? I can't see.
It's FC.
Yeah, the red. You need to increase the red.
Right, FC is perpendicular to ED. Yes. As defined by that proposition. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we're on the surface of a sphere, then that's what horizontal is at that point. And if you're on a different point on the surface of a sphere, the horizontal plane is different.
No.
If
you were on that sphere at that place, you would fall off it. You would have to be on top of that sphere in order to stay.
Why would you fall off of it?
Because you can't stand on the bottom of a sphere.
Well,
you're ignoring gravity.
Sphere. Yeah.
What?
There's no top or
geometry.
bottom,
There
you
is.
fucking idiot.
There is.
Yeah, but if we're talking about Earth, then gravity is a thing. So
yeah, but
no,
this
you won't fall off.
This is geometry, right?
Yeah, and we're using it to represent the sphere. And if you're standing on the bottom of a sphere that is the size of Earth, the mass of it will cause gravity to keep you on it. So no, they won't fall off.
So a sphere is 3D, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now the surface of a sphere, is that 3D?
Well, if you took a cross section about it, it would be 2D. But the actual surface. Sorry, MC2.
The geometric perfect sphere, which is just a thought experiment, right? It's not reality. But the surface of a perfect sphere is a two-dimensional surface in spherical geometry.
Right. But in reality, is the surface of a sphere 3D?
We don't.
In reality, everything is 3D.
We don't need to worry about, for the purpose of this diagram, this discussion, it's just the 2D slice we need to worry about, as I was showing in mine. You don't need to worry about the 3D part of it. We're talking about tangents, radii, and angles. And the fact that hold on, the gravity pulls things towards the centre of the circle. So indeed you can be at the bottom of the circle and be pulled in via the radial to the centre.
You're going to have to say the surface of a sphere is 2D. Yeah, that's the message you get.
No, we're talking about slice. We're talking about slice. Don't bring any relevances. We're talking about slice. That's 2D. The diagram that I showed you is a 2D slice. That's all you need to worry about.
The surface of a sphere, is that 2D or 3D?
We're worrying about this diagram and the slice. We do not need to go into the 3D side of things. The 2D is quite sufficient for the purposes of this discussion to explain to you the horizontal is a tangent, and that changes with your position on the surface of the circle.
That's not horizontal. You don't know much about horizontal, do you?
You are an utter moron. The horizontal is defined as perpendicular to the vertical.
I'm not confusing a horizontal with a vertical.
The vertical is towards the centre of the circle. The gravity means that it acts like a radial, and that means that the plumb bob will point to the centre of this circle, and the horizontal is perpendicular to that at that point. You cannot be this stupid. People, do we believe he's this stupid?
Horizontal I think he's a and vertical are perpendicular, right?
Oh my God, he said it again.
They
The thing I
are
told you, he
not
said every 2 minutes. The thing I
parallel.
told you about 5 minutes ago that he says every 2 minutes, he's now going to say that the horizontal of these things are not perpendicular to one another. Even though in the diagram he can see on screen, he can see all those horizontal and down and ups are perpendicular to one another, but they change the angle. Oh, there's an infinite number of them around the circumference of this circle. MC2, I don't know how you can put up with this.
You've got a vertical at the top there, right?
Oh my
It says
God.
up, down.
All right.
See
They're
that?
all verticals. They're all verticals.
Listen.
All the down ups
All
are
right.
all verticals.
All right, stop it. Right, so but
Jesus
that
Christ.
is parallel to the horizontal that you've got at the sides of the circle. So you've got a vertical being parallel
90 degrees.
to horizontals. Yes, you have.
Absolutely, yeah. There's no problem with that.
Absolutely.
That completely matches the hypothesis of the spherical Earth.
I told you he'd say this. I
Right,
did
but
it again.
not perpendicular, are they? If they're
So
parallel.
the horizontals and verticals are perpendicular, you moron. Look at the diagram. Jesus Christ, you need
bad
to go to
diagram,
hospital.
isn't
Your brain is
No,
just of a 9-year-old. You need
Just
medical
because you
attention
draw
now.
a picture, Rumpus.
What are you going to
You
say?
need medical
Careful what you
attention
say
now.
here, Bev. Careful what you say.
He needs medical attention straight away. Straight away.
He's drawn
Oh,
a picture
seriously,
there
chill.
where vertical and horizontal are parallel in places.
Not the local ones. He said it again, hasn't he? I told you every 2 minutes he says this. Even though I pointed out that
Lines
in each
can be
location,
extended,
each
can't
local horizontal is perpendicular to each vertical, but each pair of things change angle such that they will someone's horizontal, say at the 3 o'clock position, is the same as someone else's vertical at the 12 o'clock position. You've had this explained to you about 27 times, and you still keep on saying, you seem to wonder, you have this wonder, oh my God, the horizontals are different. The horizontals
But he's
are
describing
indeed
reality.
different depending on where you
He's
are.
not
Stop.
describing reality.
He is, because we can give you
It is
examples
not.
of it. We can give you examples that match what he is
Vertical
describing.
and horizontal are
I'm not
not
so sorry.
parallel to each other.
In
Ever.
reality, yes.
Harold.
No, they're not.
Someone's horizontal is parallel to someone else's vertical. You
Be
twat.
a moron, Rumpus.
No, that's how it
God.
is in reality. That is what it is on our model, whether you accept it or not.
Yeah,
We can measure it. We can prove it.
Craig.
We can prove it.
Yeah, not just
Bev,
saying
we can prove
Geometry.
things.
Geometry is where you get them proofs, right?
Yeah,
Them
no.
proofs.
When you say proof of
Yes.
maths, you're talking about pure maths. You're not talking about just saying.
Pythagoras' theorem. Can you prove Pythagoras' theorem?
Do you know what Pythagoras'
Can
theorem
you
is?
prove the bridge of asses?
Do you know what Pythagoras' theorem
The
is?
bridge of asses? What?
Yeah, it's about number 47, right?
Can you tell me what it is?
A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
Yeah, and tell me how that relates to the shape of the Earth.
It's a proof within geometry.
Yeah,
Geometry
it's a proof
gives
that
you
A
proofs.
squared plus B squared equals C squared. It doesn't prove
Yes.
that the Earth is flat.
It's geometry.
Bev, do you understand that gravity?
That the Earth is flat.
Bev, do you understand?
Who even said that the Earth was flat?
Bev,
You
do
do.
you understand that vertical?
Who?
The vertical
When?
is defined by gravity.
When?
Bev, do you understand?
When did
that
I say
vertical
that?
in the real
Craig?
world? Bev, do you understand in the
Craig?
real world, vertical is
Fuck off.
defined by
Craig,
plumb
when did
bobs
I
and
say that?
gravity?
All the time.
Bev, do you understand that in the
When?
real world, vertical is defined by plumb bobs and gravity?
I'm not listening to you, Rumpus. You may as
Euclid
well
has nothing
get
to
rid of
say.
it.
Euclid has nothing to say about gravity.
Rumpus, you're a
and plumb
moron.
bobs.
When did I say that the Earth was flat? Craig?
You say it all the time.
Euclid has nothing to
No,
say
I don't.
about
I
gravity.
say there
Euclid
are
has nothing
mountains
to
and
say about
valleys.
gravity.
Yeah. Flat
And
earthers say that
Euclid
instead of flat
has
geometry.
earthers.
nothing to
exists.
say about gravity, and that's your problem. Because Euclid's got nothing to say about gravity, and the horizontal and vertical are defined by gravitational attraction, and Euclid's got nothing to say about gravitational attraction.
Perpendicular, aren't they? That's geometry.
As defined in my diagram, yes, locally. Each local incident is a vertical and horizontal, locally at each point. But each point's got a different vertical
That's
and
not the
horizontal
definition
because
of
gravity.
perpendicular, is it,
Because
Rumpus?
gravity. What?
That's not the definition of perpendicular, is it?
At each location, they're perfect. He's saying it again. Even on that diagram, each one of those points shows a perpendicular. He's just
So
denying
can I make a perpendicular on a horizontal and then move along that horizontal and make another perpendicular to it?
You can, but that horizontal means you're extending out, you're changing your elevation.
Yeah. And you would only be horizontal to the original position.
You have to
So,
put a plank there.
right,
You have to build
horizontal
yourself,
is an
you have to build
increase.
to move along the
I get
horizontal
this.
bed. You have to build yourself a little bridge, a little
What
pier to
sort of
stand
a
along, and it will
rate of
gradually go
increase is
up
there?
and up.
What sort of a rate of increase is there on a
8
horizontal?
inches per mile
away-
squared. 8 inches per mile
Oh.
squared is how much your
Right, so-
horizontal would go above the surface of the water. So if you built it up
Water,
after
right, okay,
1
so
mile,
my
you'd be
water
hold
level
on.
test
After,
would
hold
show-
on. If you hold on, if you extended your local horizontal out to a mile, it would be 8 inches above the surface of the water.
Checkable, right?
Yes, and it has been proved, and we know that verticals are not parallel.
It has
because
been
Jesse's
proved.
measured it.
It
Yes,
has been proved.
You twat!
Mathematically.
Oh my god! Take over MC2 before I explode.
Yeah, go on.
Well, if we want to get back to where I was before you interrupted and started talking
Sorry.
about gravity on
Sorry,
pure
MC2.
geometry,
When he started getting all
Craig, if you
shouty.
want to,
Right.
if you want to bring that Euclid
Mute.
Book 3 Proposition
Mute.
18 back up.
Yeah, one sec.
So, make sure it's up on the screen here. The Nathan memes are excellent.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay,
there's
so
196 in the folder now.
oh jeez.
I would point out, MC2, I did interrupt when you made a small minor error about something that I was. That was my justification. Apologies.
It happens. It does. So we were talking. Let's see, occupying station C on that sphere there, that slice really of the sphere, and then looking out over towards point B, but you actually see point G when you level the theodolite, right? So if the Earth is a sphere,
Get it upside down. Right. Yeah.
well, it just rotate it in your mind if you can do that, right? Because
Imagine
I think
it.
that yeah, use your imagination. That's a skill
I know using
that a lot of people have. So yeah, and it is helpful if you want to think of if you're on the surface of a sphere that you're always on the top, because from your orientation that seems correct. That's fine. But I do like this diagram because
everything does drop, right?
Yeah. So when you're at point C, point B drops, and that's what Jesse measured over 0.48 miles. He measured at
That's the circumference of a
0.15.
circle, that.
Hold on, a 0.15 foot drop over 0.48 miles. So about half a mile, he measured a 0.15 foot drop. So that was measured from both sides.
A half a foot drop
that.
over half a mile.
4 miles.
Point 0.15.
What? Sorry, say that again.
0.15 foot drop.
Okay,
Over
over.
0.48 miles.
So just under half a mile.
Correct.
Measured drop in the
Yes.
water level.
And with the theodolite. Yep. And so he used that lake.
Was there a sagittary
as-
on the way to that? So did it rise before it dropped to that point?
He wasn't measuring that or observing that. He was just measuring the
So he
reciprocal
didn't check
Zenith
the halfway
angles.
point to make sure that it was a curve.
Would you think it's wavy?
Well, I don't know.
certainly
Like
that's
it just measured a drop in the water level,
yeah.
right?
I think you're going off on a red herring here. So unless you're
Was it a
actually
river?
thinking that, of course there's a freshwater supply and an exit to it, but it was a very calm level lake. We could pull up the picture if you want. Calm and smooth is what it was,
Yeah, you want me
So
to display that
he
separately?
used. Just Google Jesse Kozlowski flat level lake, something like that.
God, I can't spell this.
It's on his
It's
it's on his
about,
blog. Yeah. So
1.8
here's
inch or something like that.
point. Yeah. So what he did is he put a nail in the water a big spike down in the water, and then use that just above the water as his reference to measure his elevation of the
Is that when he
theodolite.
put the spirit level on? He put 2 nails on there and put a spirit level on it. Side of the water.
Well,
I think I might have seen that one.
Yeah, I'm just talking about how he got the elevation of his theodolite, right? And then used, he measured up to the center point, of the theodolite, because from both sides, when you're doing reciprocal zenith angles, there's a target on the front of the theodolite that you point at. So there you go. And that's how you measure, right? So you measure the zenith from that, right? So level is 90 degrees, and then zenith is from that is a little more than 90 degrees.
Sorry, zenith is above your head.
Yeah, from zenith, it's 90 degrees to level, and so if you look at the very first picture
level.
in there,
You mean horizontal? You call him level horizontal? 90 degrees.
90 degrees.
Vertical,
90 degrees from vertical. At that point,
it's horizontal.
Yes.
At that you just
point,
called it
only at
level.
that
Was that a
point.
slip of the tongue?
Well, level is a curved surface. So yeah, that was.
But it's not horizontal. Rumpus just said it isn't horizontal. You've got in a bit cross wires here.
Yeah. Yep. So sorry about that. At that point, horizontal is 90 degrees from zenith. It's the horizontal plane, right? And at the other point, horizontal is 90 degrees from zenith. Now the question is, do those two match up? And these measurements say they do not match up. And you can see that in that very first picture there. If I don't know what if you have that up. Craig, do you have that?
I'm still looking at proposition 18.
Send me the link to it. Sorry, I couldn't.
Sure. There you go.
Cool. Right,
I got it up already. So now Jesse is always cautious when he says the pictures that he takes are not the measurements, right? He measures in his, with his own eye in the eyepiece, and then he'll take a picture with his phone to give an example.
You just have to trust him, right? You just have to trust what he says.
If you don't trust him, there's an open invitation for you to redo the same experiment, right?
I can do an experiment, but like the same sort of experiment. But would you trust what I got?
Yeah.
If you did this same experiment, absolutely, and you use the same.
So if I was to
methodology,
get
sure.
a water level and say that water level is a tool to establish a horizontal plane of reference, would you trust me?
Yeah, but how are you going to measure that a water level half a mile, 2 miles away is the same level as the one you're on?
Reference them with another water level, right?
No.
Well, no, because at every point on the sphere, the water level is going to be showing perpendicular. So even if the water level itself was curving, it would still, at every point along the surface of the sphere, be perpendicular.
Right,
yeah,
but
so
it
if
wouldn't
you didn't
be a straight line, would it?
No, it wouldn't be. Not if it was following the curve of the Earth.
So
but the water would still
if
be
you
level.
were to set up a water level,
Yeah.
like from one end to the other over 2 miles, let's say, would that be level from one end to the other?
Yes, and it would be curved.
Right. Then what would happen in the centre of that water level?
It would still be perpendicular to the local point that it was
Right,
at.
but would it be level with the other two on the outside?
Level is the curved surface, so yes.
Right, so it would curve then, a curved level. Right,
Yes,
so
level
if
is
I
a
was
curved
to
surface.
then...
You get
if I
that.
was to then put a
hold on,
tap
you
in-
get that right. Level is a curved surface, right?
Level is a horizontal plane.
No. Level is a curved surface. That's the actual definition.
No,
of it.
it's not. You stop
Yes,
being
it
a
is.
moron.
No, it actually is. I can give you.
It's
how many?
actually not. Provably
MC2,
not.
how many have you got on that page? Is it
45. It's about
45.
45.
I can give you 45 citations that say level is a curved surface.
Brilliant. How many proofs can you give me that it
All of them.
curves? All of them are proofs because they are
hold on,
written down
remember-
in a book.
Remember,
you give
hold
us
on,
actual
Beth.
proofs.
Hold on, Bev. Yeah, there are 4 places that proof exists that I know of. Pure math.
Pure.
Right?
Geometry.
Pure math. And yeah,
Geometry.
pure geometry is a subset of math, right? So pure math and
It's
logic.
pure.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Logic
Second
as
would
well,
be
yeah. Geometry comes from logic.
in alcohol purity. Third would be in baking. You need to prove your dough. And third would be in pseudoscience. So we don't in science deal with proving things. We find evidence for things.
You get proofs in pseudoscience. Did you just say?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pseudoscientists are all about talking about can you prove it, and real scientists are not
I'm
about
talking
that.
about here.
Exists in pure mathematics, and pure mathematics is not
Geometry.
saying the word geometry. It's doing the maths
No,
around
geometry
it.
is
No.
mathematics.
Just saying geometry isn't pure mathematics.
No, I can quote Euclid.
Yeah, quoting Euclid is not mathematics.
It is. That's
No, it's not.
The geometry.
No, pure
Yeah, that's
mathematics
how
is
you
with
get
numbers and calculations
So,
and stuff.
you know
Not
how you
talking
can get
about
a
it.
proof for Pythagoras' theorem?
The proof of Pythagoras' theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. That is a
Yeah, but
mathematical proof.
You need the definition for perpendicular.
No, you
because
don't.
Two of the sides need to be a right angle, right?
No, you don't. You just need the mathematical
For Pythagoras'
description of it.
theorem, yes.
No, you don't
You
need
need a
words.
right angle
Bev, stop.
triangle.
You don't need words. You can describe it with pure mathematics, and that's the point.
Yes,
words
I
aren't
can show you with
important.
the
Words
compass
are not.
and
No, you're not listening.
Lydian
Words are not
definitions.
important. In maths, words are not important. It's
Yes,
mathematical
the Euclid,
descriptions.
the elements, the book is
Yeah, that's
very
not. It's not pure
important.
mathematics. That is not pure mathematics.
It is. That's
No,
geometry.
No, it's not pure mathematics. Pure mathematics is the mathematical description. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. That is a mathematical description. That is a proof.
No,
but you
it's a
don't need the
shape,
words to do that.
Isn't it? That's squares with a triangle in the middle.
No, it's
There
a
are no
mathematical
numbers
proof.
there, Craig.
A
There are
squared
no
plus-
numbers. It's geometric.
It's using algebra, which is how you do maths sometimes.
It's using shapes, Craig.
No, not using
Three
shapes. You're
squares.
using mathematics.
It's
A squared
the
plus b squared
square
equals c
of
squared.
the
It's
side
a mathematical
of the
description.
fucking triangle.
Yes, but the proof is the mathematical
The
description,
square
not the
shape.
words. Not the words,
You need
Bev.
to know
no,
what
Bev, you're not getting this
perpendiculars
wrong.
are to
Bev,
construct
shut
a
up.
square.
Shut the fuck up, moron, and listen. You're getting this so wrong. You do not use
No,
words.
it's
no,
you are.
shut the fuck up and listen,
Carry on,
right?
though.
It's not the words about maths that's important. It's the mathematical descriptions that give you proof. You can't just say geometry proves it because Euclid says this. No, you have to then give a mathematical description and evidence to back up
Proposition
what you were saying.
47 within book 1
Yeah, cool.
is
It's
the
not pure
proof
maths.
for Pythagoras' theorem. That's Euclid's proof.
A
for
squared plus b
Pythagoras'
squared
theorem.
equals c squared is the proof. It's a mathematical description.
It's that's
just
the
like
formula,
just
Craig.
like fg
The
equals
proof
gm1
is
m
about
squared
157
m2
proofs
m1 m2 over r squared is a
Pythagoras'
mathematical proof of using the gravitational law of attraction. So you really don't know what you're talking about in the slightest.
Yes, I do.
Now,
Pythagoras' theorem
instead of trying
is
to
in
instead
Euclid's-
of trying to win a debate with words
start off with
and
the
definitions,
maths
which don't really matter when you're talking about maths, try and actually interact with the evidence in front of you. Look at what you're seeing on the screen, okay? What you are seeing is two theodolites that are level. They are
And
horizontal.
Is there any refraction in that?
Oh my god.
There is, yeah, and absolutely.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
So you're not
and,
going to get a true level reading then, are you? No.
Yeah, and so what you need to do is you need to control for those variables if they are large enough. Now, in this particular instance, the refraction is going to cause the distant object to appear slightly higher, right? So here's the cool thing. All we're wondering about is not, we're not actually trying to get the raw number, the number in the question. What we're asking ourselves is the Earth a sphere or is it flat, right? So if the Earth is a sphere, then the theodolite needs to measure a dip. That's all it needs to measure. So if there is a dip and refraction isn't causing that dip, then we can be certain that we're measuring a sphere, right? So the refraction causes things to raise up. So we're going to have a slightly smaller dip, yet there still is a dip. Therefore, we're measuring a dip. It's a positive dip, and the Earth is a sphere. If refraction,
You say
if
we
the Earth were
are
flat,
measuring.
hold
Is
on,
that a team?
yeah, I'm
Humanity.
yeah, it's humanity here. So, and since many people have done it, it's I'll just refer. I'll continue. Yes, it's something that many surveyors have done. So, yeah. So if the Earth were flat, refraction and no refraction, then we would see things straight on 90 degrees from zenith. If there is normal refraction,
The
then
water
things
be
would appear.
horizontal.
Oh, shut up and listen.
Hold on. If the Earth were flat and there is refraction, then the distant object would appear slightly higher than level and be slightly less than 90 on the zenith angle. There you go. Got nothing.
Right, so you're still trying to find out the shape of the Earth, are you? Is that what you're doing?
No, I'm not questioning it. We've measured it. It's a sphere. I'm just presenting this to you because you don't seem to understand it, which that's
I'm
fine.
just trying to prove that, well, to you guys, that level is horizontal.
You can,
right?
It's wrong.
Yeah,
like you say
contradicting
that.
geometry.
No,
right?
I don't say it. Surveyors say it.
Craig, which surveyors say that level is
All of them. They
horizontal?
use a surveying
They
manual
don't-
which
not
says that
all.
the true level is the surface of the Earth, the curved surface of the Earth. Do you want me to get the? I'll get it up for you. Just give me one sec.
But the level at one point is not the same as the level at another point. That's the point.
Or the horizontal.
If
Yeah,
the level
horizontal at one
drops,
point-
then it won't be the same.
The horizontal at one point is not the same as the horizontal at another point, as you've been told
like
about
if I have a
50
water
times
level,
in this
then
hangout.
if I have
Right?
a water level, are the two levels at the ends of the tubes on a horizontal plane?
Well, obviously, if you join them with two lines, that's going to be a line. So if you,
Yeah,
you
a
for instance, you
horizontal
could take.
line
So
or
for instance,
not.
as I showed you
Like-
before, you could have one end of your water
two
level,
ends
one
of
end
the
of the
water
Let
level.
me finish. Don't interrupt. You could have one end of your water level at one end of the Earth, and then the other end at the other end of the Earth. And if you draw a line between them, it'll go through the middle of the Earth. But it will be a line. It will be straight, but it will not reflect the surface of the Earth. Every
Will
point
it be
on
a
the Earth has its own level.
horizontal
No,
plane of reference?
level isn't
It's
horizontal.
only local horizontal. I mean, we're saying the same thing to you again and again and
Okay,
again.
so-
Each point
all right, a
has its
water-
let
do
me
you
finish,
guys-
Let me finish. Let me finish. Every point on the surface of the Earth has its own level stroke horizontal. Take that on board. I mean, if you can't understand this, then you need to go to a brain surgeon now. But that's what you need to take on board.
I mean,
And
are
if you
you seeing all
extend the
these
level, if you
definitions
extend
that
the
I'm putting up?
horizontal, and if you extend the horizontal, then that will be different. That will be a plane, but the plane will then part company with the surface of the Earth, the surface of water.
Right, you guys know what a water level is. You wouldn't be saying all of
I
this
just
if you
described
didn't
it
know what a
to you. I
water
just-
level is. Right.
You mean like basically the two
YouTube, a YouTube.
yeah
With
yeah
filtered
so-
It's
water.
just got a massive
a tube of water with two bits at the side that
Yeah.
show you what the level is, right? Yeah.
You fill it up with water, right?
Yes.
The water in the tube equalizes so that the level at each end is the same.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now,
It's actually
according
not
to
quite the
you,
same. It's actually
according
not quite
to
how-
you, right? According to you, there is only one vertical on the horizontal, right?
No,
now,
on the level.
Yeah, I can-
Is that
Hold on.
level
I
a
can
horizontal
clarify that.
plane of
I
reference?
can clarify that there.
Wait a minute, whoa. No. Is that a horizontal plane of reference between those two water levels? And if it is,
It
where
approximates
is the
to.
point that the vertical is perpendicular to it
It's
on your
approximates
model?
to.
You would need to show us
hold
that
on.
that is the case. You would need
Hold
to
on.
show
Can I
us
make a
on
quick
a water
point?
level.
No,
Wait, one
hold on.
sec.
I can give
Sorry,
the right
go on,
answer.
MC
to
Toon.
that.
Oh, MC Toon, go on.
So it's a good question. Where is the point that it's level to? Right. So say you had a really large tube that was a mile long, right, from one end to the other, right? That particular that line that you can draw between them,
One
the perpendicular
minute.
is at the center point of those two tubes.
Shut up.
Correct.
That
So
horizontal
where's
plane
where's
that's
the
defined
horizontal?
as the horizontal plane is defined as the point that's halfway between those two tubes.
Correct.
Right, so where is the horizontal plane? Like, so if imagine, right, at
He just
one end...
told you!
Oh,
it's